up the gang and they come and get gang. Grab me a river, get through with tissue.
So we're out here pulling the SR. We mostly got it out. All that's left is transmission mount, like motor mounts and power steering and exhaust. So that's what I'm doing right now. We'll get back to you once this motor's out and we'll see how much shaft play my turbo has. So I already got off the intercooler, the piping, radiator, all that stuff, and the wiring harness is pulled through the firewall this way so that I don't have to undo all the connectors.
Bolt off.
So I just finished taking everything off now. We're just gonna take the motor out now and then probably call it a night, but I'm getting some stuff this weekend for this. Brennan's getting some stuff. We're selling stuff, so right now Brennan's hooking up the jack. We are just lifting it out. It's kind of stuck on the motor mounts, but so I left the downpipe on, and it seems that hits the power steering rack, so I'm gonna pull that off and then the rest of this motor can come out. Alright, so here it is. It's like a eBay turbo. The decent amount of shaft play. I feel like the back's gonna be worse. So I'm gonna pull that off tomorrow. Pick up fenders tomorrow, and then Saturday I'm selling the BR sadly, but I don't need it, so I'm picking up a GT28 and picking up a test pipe for a little man's car so we don't have more tractor noises.
Alright guys, what's up? I got a test pipe. Ow. Gotta go throw this in. Got some washers and bolts. And this kid's gonna pull his tranny off.
My tranny,
because he's gay and he likes playing with trannies.
I'm gonna clean some stuff and start to put stuff back together and not do a head gasket, so more gaskets otherwise. This is the turbo I got. It's clean, there's no play. Right now I'm taking off the wrap on my manifold. And then we're gonna close up this thing, like shut off the taillights, like block off the holes, and then put this thing outside so I have more room to work on the SR. We're gonna do the gaskets on the front, the rear main seal, like that plate that goes around the rear main seal. But right now we're gonna pull off the transmission and see how bad that rear main seal plate was. Just popped the tranny off, and looks like it was leaking. I'm gonna throw this thing on the engine stand after I pull the clutch off, and we're gonna start getting into this thing. Exhaust side of the motor is all cleaned. We got the new Garrett on there, and I'm gonna do the front covers, clean all that, and then I'm gonna go to the intake side, and then we're gonna throw this thing back in, do a valve cover gasket while it's in the car, and paint the valve cover, and put most of these parts back in. As I'm pulling this apart, I figured out I need a head gasket, so I'm just gonna pull the gun and order one of those, and time to start tearing this thing down even more.
We're back. S14. I finally ordered some hubs so we can put this thing back on the ground. Picked up the S14 nuts and washers for the hubs. So I'm just gonna clean this rust off and throw these new hubs on. The kids said they were ISR, but I think they're Ishiba or Ishiba, whatever you say, or however you call them. I don't know, but they're pretty nice. They're pretty much brand new. I picked them up for a steal, so I'm gonna throw them on right now. Alright, all cleaned up. So I'm gonna throw one of these on, throw the nut and washer on, and my hubs will be on. Alright, so I got these all finished. They're all tightened up. I need to buy the cotter pins. Need to get cotter pins for those and my ball joints. But right now I'm under the car, just ripping out this fuel line because it had a leak in it somewhere, and I drained like a quarter of the tank trying to get this started. Right now I'm tightening the axles and diff bolts, and then once I do that, the rear of the car can be on the ground. And then once I get, actually I might be able to put the whole car on the ground tonight. Once I replace the fuel line and tighten the diff, I should be able to put it on the ground. So I'm going to try and do that right now before it's dark. So if it does get dark, I can pull this hoopty out and put my hoopty in. Alright, so I'm going to run to Dunkin' Donuts. Pretty thirsty. I got the hubs on. I tighten the axles. I'm going to run the fuel line while the back's still in the air. Put that on the ground. Put the front wheels on. Actually, I have to tighten the engine mounts before I put the front wheels on and put it on the ground, but I really can't wait until this thing's running. You guys haven't seen the motor in a while. Picked up some parts for this. So we got a AEM intake. These high performance wires or whatever, I got them for cheap and from my buddy Tim, so I threw those on. Picked up some ISR headers from Jimmy Everett or whatever. He's on Jimmy Oaks' channel. I need to pick up 2 more studs for that. Power steering is hooked up. Everything's hooked up besides the catch can and this upper coolant hose. I'm gonna have to figure that out. So once the catch can and the upper coolant hose is on, all the hoses and lines will be done. So all I have to do after that is get it running perfect so I can actually drive it and drift it on the 17th. Finally. Picked up my coffee. Now, there's 2 bolts for the engine mounts. I'm going to tighten those up real quick. Throw the tires on, push it in the garage. Alright, I got the hideous wheels on the front just to roll it around for now. But I kind of porked myself. Come back here. The jack is stuck. Like, I cannot get that out.
Alright everyone, so here's what's going on with the SR. It's pretty clean. So the head's still mint. I gotta pull out the cams and take the head off and exhaust and intake.
Let's push this hoopty out.
We got all the studs. Clean that. I gotta clean this oil pan too.
Let's push this hoopty out.
Why?
So I can push my car in.
Why? So we pulled out the hatch or pushed it out, and exhaust was scraping because it's just hanging because no motor is connecting to it. We're gonna pull in the Zen key. Start working on that for a while because the SR is just getting torn apart and rebuilt. So I'm running to Putnam. I'm gonna be running an external wastegate on this, so it's gonna go right there, I think, or in the back. And I'm probably just gonna run it down along the downpipe because I don't want a hood dump. But I need some RTV, some brake clean, a little wire brush, and then I'm gonna just keep cleaning this thing and wait for the head gasket. I also need copper spray. Don't really know how it works, but I've heard people use it and it works good, so we're gonna get that. Alright, so we're here again and we're doing the rear main seal cover on this. Last time I kind of hacked it and it was leaking, so I'm gonna do that and not hack it this time. And tomorrow I'm taking the wastegate and the turbo and manifold to a buddy of ours that welds, and we're gonna get that looked at and see if I have room on the manifold to run the external wastegate, and then hopefully I do, because that'd be pretty sick. So I'm going to do this, let it sit for like an hour, and then tighten it down, and then I'll be done with that. So I just finished this rear main seal plate and it's looking pretty good. We're gonna just put this thing away, I guess, and tomorrow, I don't know if I'm gonna work on this, but tomorrow I'm taking those, and I just lost my shoe. Tomorrow I'm gonna take those and I'm gonna strip like this off, and then I'm gonna do the front main cover maybe, but I gotta pull the head off to do that so I can get a nice seal, and then don't want this to happen to the new gasket. Get up.
Get in!
Get up.
Get in!
I already called it.
No, you took too long.
I had to poop. Just got back from dropping off the manifold. I'm going to be running the external wastegate because it's going to work, and I'm just still cleaning all the parts to this, and head gasket should be in the end of this week. Throw that in. I cleaned both oil pans. It came out pretty clean. I cleaned the timing cover, and I'm just waiting for the head gasket pretty much. There's not much to do. So external wastegate life's coming on this thing. Open downpipe. Alright, so today should be interesting. We're pulling off the head, getting ready for the head gasket, and hopefully when I take this head off, I'm not going to find any surprise damages in there, but I'm going to do that so I can get the timing cover on, and then we'll be ready for the head gasket. It should be in tomorrow or Friday. Alright, so to start this process, we're going to want to find these little dots on the cams by just turning the crank, and then we're going to just mark the chain with the white marker or any color you want, and then that's where the cams are going to go when you put them back in. So make sure you do that, or else your timing's going to be all off. So now we're going to do that, and then I'm going to show you the procedure to taking off these cam caps, because you don't want to crack your cams. So we're going to do that. You're going to take out your timing chain tensioner, which is right here. So we're going to take that out, and then we're going to take the cams out. In the procedure, you can actually leave the whole intake on. Whole exhaust side needs to come off though. So take the dipstick out. So when you're doing this, oil is going to come out, but it's tension, so there it is. It's not too difficult to do. Take it out, and then I'm going to put this down so you guys can see. You can push this in and clip this to lock it closed, and it's much easier to put back in when you're done. So I'm going to do that, and then probably I'm going to give this a good clean, and then it'll be ready to go back in. So my hands are filthy, but this is what it looks like when it's compressed, and you push this little clip onto that pin. Pretty easy. So the procedure is pretty easy. Start on the inside towards the front of the motor, and it's like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. It's pretty simple. Sorry, I messed up, but it's inside to out, front to back. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So we're going to crack those off. We're going to take the cams off, and then we're going to take out the head studs and pull this head off. So I got the cams out, and the caps, and the oil squirters, and the rocker arm stoppers. Now we're going to undo the head studs, but it's a little bit different. And also, I noticed when I was doing this, if you have the timing cover off, the chain can fall and come off time. So what I did is I painted where it goes, and it fell off, and I didn't even notice. Fixed the teeth, and then I just zip tied it together so it can't get off of that. And now we're gonna undo all the head studs. Now it's different than the cam caps. You're gonna start in the back of the motor, and it's gonna be 1, 2, and then 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So that's what we're gonna do now. It's gonna take a lot of force. These are really tight, so in numerical order, 1 on the exhaust side, 2 on the intake, and then back and forth all the way across, and then we'll show you when we pull the head off. Alright, so our buddy Deontay just got here. He just got bags put in his car. Air out. Damn. Again. So we got off the head and we didn't find any damage that surprise. So I put the timing cover on, gonna let it sit and torque it down, and then I hope the head gasket comes in tomorrow. What do you think?
We'll see.
We will see, but I'll show you guys my head gasket that was on this thing. So this is probably the reason it was burning oil. There's oil in between all the oil ports, and there was oil on the piston head. So yeah, this looks like a Cometic or something, some cheap bullshit. We're gonna go get some grub, and then there's not really much else to do, so we're still waiting on the turbo manifold also. I'm gonna clean the cold side of the motor and fix this oil leak. It's on like the oil filter thing, but I got my turbo inlet piece, external wastegate flange, and the turbo studs. And tomorrow my head gasket should be in, so SR is looking good. Should be done in about a week, and I'm pretty hyped.
Picked up some tranny fluid for the S14. Some power steering fluid. Nothing but the best. Super 10. Yeah. Some new gaskets for my test pipe. I got this thing running the other day. Got the stud conversion for the valve cover, the ISR headers, and catch cans hooked up. I just need hose clamps for these and this, and then an upper coolant hose, and I can drive it. Corey always has to be bent over in a video.
So is it filming?
Yes.
We're building the SR here. Just putting it piece to piece, and then gonna do the head gasket and the head tomorrow.
Look how nice this thing looks.
It's pretty clean.
Sweet. It's gonna sound aggressive.
So I got both oil pans on. Got back from Jimmy's shop, and turns out it's gonna be another week or a week and a half for the turbo manifold, but it's all good. His welder broke. We'll be patient.
Why don't you film yourself though?
Right now, this guy's putting on some coolant hoses, and then
Start it pretty fast.
we're gonna start it tomorrow. Head gasket on this. I really want this SR back together and running, but we're gonna have to wait a little. So Brennan connected a bunch of vacuum lines and stuff. I don't know what else he did, but
I hooked up the catch can, which is basically a big vacuum line.
so we're gonna start this thing up and listen to the purr, because it sounds pretty good. He's got some new gaskets to throw in, some vibrant ones. How much were these?
Like $5 a piece.
It's not even bad. Vibrant's a good company.
Guess we're ready to give her a start.
About to get smoky in here, so right after this, calling it a night. We'll be back tomorrow to do my head gasket. Come on, KA!
Hold up.
You forgot to connect his
Hold that.
his throttle line cable.
His throttle line.
True dopey right here.
Bap bap.
Alright, here we go now. What the hell was that? Alright.
Light for this year! Yeah! Alright guys, as you can see, okay, it runs. All I have to do is time it, get this upper coolant hose, and find that vacuum leak. We're good. And he has to do an alignment on it because I don't know what I'm doing.
Yeah, I guess I'll do it. I gotta do my car too because it's like this.
I gotta get my rotors on it, but our friend Danny's gonna cut them at school for me, so they're pretty much brand new. And yeah,
Cut what?
my rotors. And I have to tighten the diff, and we're good to go for a test skid.
Test skids.
Welded, welded, welded!
This is where I'm gonna end the video now. We're getting a lot done on both cars, and this thing should be
We got
pristine in
4
like
weeks till the start of the season.
2
It's
weeks.
rough.
So we're good. We're gonna make the first event.
I'm not, but
As soon as my taxes come in, picking up some wheels for this, you'll see.
we got a lot of paint and body work to do also.
One of you guys are selling me the wheels, so I'm pretty hyped.
Yep.
And yeah.
He's hooking it up. Woo!